been gardening. I think, let me see. Gardening has been America's pastime. I used to take my kids out in the garden, and I had a beautiful garden, and I love the gardening. And the nice thing about gardening, it's very meditative. It's good exercise, and I think it's just a wonderful thing to do. And if you haven't gardened, I mean, you can start off with like little small pots and have a nice array of and a variety of herbs, and you can have fresh herbs, or you can have like onions, and I think you would just enjoy the feel of gardening. I enjoy it. I had lost my garden with my house, and but I got a garden here where someone actually helps me maintain it, and it's a community garden, but it's like my little babe, like my neighbors told me. It's like, it's your babe, isn't it? I said, yeah, it is. And it's one of the things, I guess we never really leave home. There's always going to be a part that we take with us wherever we may go. So with that, I got the first blossoms. Unfortunately, some of these were frozen in my refrigerator. I had it too high, but some I could spare, and then I'm going to show you how we could use them. I do have a couple videos that you can see. When I first started doing these videos, I did some videos on stuffing blossoms, and that's what I'll be doing today. So on that note, I'm going to take out my cream cheese. I want to get my cream cheese into room temperature for the next video. And what I'm going to do, yeah, I'm supposed to be on vacation. But I will. This is our very first zucchini. I was so proud. I was watching it like a babe and making sure I wanted to save it for our coordinator, director here at the apartment complex, who brought in the garden. Kudos to him. I appreciate him very much. And if you see George, say, hi, George. He's awesome. And also the people that allowed, or the staff that allowed him to have the garden here, which is, it's really a blessing. I wish we had a garden in each section. So it's just really nice to have a garden. So anyways, okay, I'm going to start off with heating up my skillet here, and then I'm going to go ahead and season my pork. I have some pork. These are going to be Calabasitas, but I'm going to be doing them just a little bit different. Okay, my technique is going to be like a saute braise on this. When my father was on a special diet, and he had to, you could use this technique as well. Instead of using any kind of oil, she would just lay the pork chops in there, and then she would just fill up a little bit of water and just let it cook until the water, evaporated, and then the pork chop caramelized. And it was really tender, tasty. I'm going to do it the opposite way. I'm going to try to, let me see from the other side. And when you get your pork, it's really nice to get a sustainable pork where our pork is being humanely slaughtered. We want to support our farmers as well, our local farmers. So, so I'm going to use some of this fat to go ahead and these pork chops happen to have a little bit of fat, so I'm going to go ahead and put those. And some folks like the fat, and there's a bone. I'm going to go ahead and toss that in as well, because I want to get all the flavor of the of the pork. I want to go ahead and small dice this. Now, if you're not a pork person, if you don't eat pork, there's other things you could use. They have some new ingredients for if you want to have that meat. Or you can saute, I would say portobello mushrooms or shiitake mushrooms, and but I would saute those, or tofu if you prefer, but I would go ahead and saute them after you saute your onions. Okay. Yeah. I try to limit my pork. I could eat without. I could live without eating. Anybody can live without eating meat, and I think it's a good thing to become vegetarian or vegan. I haven't, it's to each his own preference. So if your conviction tells you not to eat meat, then I would say, yeah. I mean, I grew up with meat, and but I also watched meats get slaughtered when I was younger, and so and like I said, there are right ways and there are bad ways. So, and a lot of people don't really know about them, but there are bad ways. Personally, I'd rather not know. As you see, I'm tossing in the bones as well, so I'm trying to get as much as I can. That meat. And be careful, you might get a sliver of bone every now and then. Okay. My parents would love this meal. Okay. Just your hands in between. And it's starting to caramelize really nice. We have some white wine. I think it's better with white wine. I like to drink my white wine. I cook with it as well. So. Not always, but in moderation, of course. Okay. I'm going to cover. I gotta start learning how to bend. Instead of doing this, it's bad for your back. It's almost like relearning. Especially when your back goes out on you. Definitely to learn how to bend properly. So while that is sauteing, I'm going to go ahead and start with this beautiful squash. I'm going to cut the tip. It's a little hollow. And then I'm just going to go ahead and square it off. And if it has, see, I wanted to get this, make sure that it didn't get overly grown, because what happens then it starts having seeds and I think it loses flavor. So I think I got it at the right time. Oops. Oh. Oh, that's sweet. Oh my goodness. That's deliciously sweet. Always taste your food while you're cooking. And that's how we begin to incorporate flavors and what we think we need. And this is really a simple dish. So I want to make sure all those, the cuts are exactly the same. Have another. Gosh, that's delicious. You grow your own vegetables. So now, the moisture, I didn't even use any oil. The moisture of that meat in itself is caramelized, and it's also has a lot of not a lot, but some fluids release, and that's when I cover it. When I cover it up, that's when your fluids are going to release. So the fluids come out of it. It's almost like it's raising in its own liquids and its own juices, and you might want to even add just a little bit of water. At this point, you can add beer, you can add water, you can add some white wine, you can even add vodka if you want. But I'm going to use just water, and then just so that it'll braise a little bit more, because I really want that pork to be tender. I have another. I could eat this by itself. It didn't really quite grow into it, but I wanted to catch it before. There's a process when a zucchini grows. I mean, it'll get big. Zucchinis get like huge. You can still eat them, but what happens is, like I said, there's seeds in there. You can take the seeds and dry them out and save them for the next growing season. And and then sometimes you can pick them while they're, while they're young and tender. But I like them in between, because when they get a little bit bigger, in my experience, they lose a lot of flavor. So I caught it just in time, right before it started branching out and getting big. So. Just beautiful. Okay. Alright. Let's try one. I always keep some burn solution or an aloe vera plant. Just take the pulp and you rub it on your burn spot. So usually, I would say this takes about a good 15-20 minutes to become tender and caramelized, and I'm going to add a little bit more salt and pepper. Oh, it smells good. I had some really good cumin. Oh, you know when you smell, you can tell when a cumin has been beautifully grown and it's harvested and with care, and oh, it doesn't have that real, it's almost like a sweetness to it, and it's very aromatic, and it's a good cumin. If it doesn't smell good, then you probably don't have a good batch of cumin. So, yeah, it's good to have some good cumin. I'm going to squeeze a little bit of lime in it. You can use lemon if you like. So I want to really flavor up that meat. I just want to get that. Oh, now it's starting to evaporate, and this is when it gets really nice. So while that's evaporating really quickly, I'm going to take my roasted pepper that I had sweating. It's an Anaheim pepper. You could use a chipotle if you'd like. I'm going to rinse this off. It's going to give it another little flavor. Oops. Okay, I have to have one more taste. Oh, that lime just took it to another level. Yeah. Yeah. I have to try one more. Very delicious. So basically I have braised the pork in its own elements. So I'm going to put this aside to make some bone broth with that, if you'd like. Here. I want to see. See? So it's kind of nicely caramelized. And see, there's a lot of fond on the bottom of that. Yeah. That's all your flavor. Of bone, you want to take it out. Okay, now what I'm going to do is place my onions in there. Let those saute. Add a little bit more salt. So the salt will help help the onions to caramelize a little bit faster and bring the sweetness to it. There's already salt in the pork. So that it's gonna get nicer. So how do I remove the fond? Well, there's a couple of ways you can remove it with wine or some more fluids or stock or broth, which I'll probably be using more of a broth. So I'm going to go ahead and add my tomatoes. That's about a tomato and a half. Go ahead and put them in there.